What's going on, investors? Welcome back to Frunkla. So in this video we are going to talk about the positive catalyst of BNGO that the CEO made mention of during the fourth quarter financial results of 2021. We are going to take a look at all of these things one after the other. And also, we are going to talk about the CPT code that the CEO mentioned, the category 1 CPT code that Bionano Genomics is presently going after. He made a lot of positive statements about the company in 2022 and where he expects the company to be at the end of this year. So those are the things that we are going to be taking a look at right after the intro. What up, investors? It's your boy Dayo. Welcome to Frunkla Investment, where I talk about Bionano Genomics on a daily basis. From Sunday to Sunday, I try to post at least one video. If you would love to learn more about Bionano Genomics, this channel is for you, Feel free to subscribe to this channel, join other members of Bionano Genomics, those that are also invested in this company, and come here on a daily basis to learn more about their investment in this company. Whatever I show you in this video is just for educational purpose only. The financial market is a very dangerous place and you can lose a lot of money. Always do your own due diligence. Don't sue me, bro. Let's get to it. So this right here is where we are going to be starting from. I love to remind you guys of what happened in the past so that you can know where the story began. Back in March 3rd 2021, which of course was last year, one of the customers of Bionano Genomics, Praxis Genomics, received something that is known as DEX Z codes, which of course is going to help them with reimbursement. They got this code from Palmetto, for their whole genome analysis laboratory developed test on the Sapphire device. And this was the first time a laboratory is working based on LDT on the Sapphire device. And then they are presently using this DEX Z code along with a CPT code. And that of course was the first time that I heard about CPT code, which is one of the reasons why I want to talk about what's gonna happen if BNGO gets the category 1 CPT code. This is going to be massive for BNGO in my opinion. So if you guys take a look at what exactly a CPT code is, you guys can see right here we have two categories, the category 1 and category 2. Now, according to category 1, a proposal for a new or revised category 1 code must satisfy all of the following criteria. All devices and drugs necessary for performance of the procedure of service have received FDA clearance or approval when such is required for performance of the procedure or service. So this one right here, in my opinion, is not needed for Bionano Genomics, but these remaining ones, the procedure or service is performed by many physicians or other qualified healthcare professionals across the United States. So this is one of the reasons why BNGO is trying to bring all these healthcare professionals in the genomic sector to talk about OGM. If you guys are wondering, why do we have symposium? Why do we always bring experts in on a daily basis to talk about what we already know? This is one of the reasons why BNGO is doing that. Now, the procedure or service is performed with frequency consistent with the intended clinical use, i.e. a service for a common condition should have high volume. So this is of course another reason why BNGO is trying to install more Sapphire devices out there before they go after all this kind of FDA approval or CPT code or whatever. Now, the third one says the fourth one says the procedure or service is consistent with current medical practice. So if you guys already you guys already know that BNGO is trying to replace all these old methods of analyzing genomes for structural variation, the likes of karyotyping. And that is of course why they always try to get the experts that are presently in this field to talk about how OGM is in 100% concordance with all this old method of analyzing genomes. This right here, is what they are after. Now, the last one says the clinical efficacy of the procedure or service is documented in literature that meets the requirement set forth in the CPT code change application. So, this one, in my opinion, in terms of BNGO, we have all this, all this paper that are being published, okay, based on OGM, all this paper that, experts are releasing about the OGM, how OGM is, for example, better than, other technologies out there, like the sequencing technology, all these kind of things. I believe is going to help BNGO in this aspect. So these are the specific criteria for category 1 code, and I believe BNGO is going to receive this CPT code. If BNGO gets this CPT code, it's going to help them with Bionano laboratory, because right now we also have a segment of the business that is addressing testing samples directly for the user. So not just going to other laboratories to perform all these tests. Users can also come to Bionano Genomics. That is what BNGO is trying to do little by little. Okay, so it's more or less like Apple selling their devices directly, no middleman. That is more or less the idea. But also, I believe this CPT code is going to help BNGO. If you are, a laboratory that is presently using Bionano Genomics to attend to your, customers, your patients, you can easily use CPT code from BNGO also to, in my opinion, I think there is a possibility. So on this page, I'm going to, talk about what Eric Holmlin, the CEO of Bionano Genomics, spoke about during the earnings call, okay, and some key points that he made that I believe we should be aware of. These are some solid points. Of course, the stock price right now is, discouraging a lot of us, and it's not gonna make us to, it's discouraging us from, focusing on what really matters, okay, which of course is the fundamental of the business, and the progress of the business. Okay, so let's take a look at what Eric said during the earnings call, just a few points, and then we can end this video. So first of all, he spoke about how the Sapphire device grew from 150. They promised 150 Sapphire device installed base, but then they delivered 164, which of course is a very huge number. That is 10%, with optical genome mapping being adopted at several blah blah blah. So they exceed their goal by 10%, which of course is very good. You under promise and then you over deliver. Now it continues. They sold about 3,204 flow cells during the fourth quarter of 2021, which of course is the reason why I believe the stock price went down a little bit. It's more or less like investors are like, okay, less people are using the Sapphire device. If you report that in the third quarter of 2021, if you reported about 3,600 flow cells was sold, and then the fourth quarter you reported 3,002, that is about minus 400 flow cells. So I believe that affected the stock price, or that is presently affecting the stock price. And of course the CEO made mention of how their distributor, their supplier, okay, affected that flow cells sales, okay, during the fourth quarter. So we are going to see what's going to happen in this quarter. If BNGO reports more flow cells, more than 3,200 for Q1 2022, this is going to be very good. So that is something to watch out during the first quarter earnings report of 2022. Now let's continue. So in total in 2021, they sold about 12,500 flow cells, which of course is more than what they sold in 2020. Okay, that represents 96% growth over 2020. They sold 6,311 flow cells in 2020, and I want to remind you guys that majority of that 6,300 came from the fourth quarter of 2020. That is when they increased the throughput of the Sapphire device, okay, to 96 human genomes per week. Now so fourth quarter of 2021 were 6.3 million, and full year 2021 were 18 million US dollars. You guys already know about that. So if you go down further, they said that enrollment for our postnatal study reached 113 subjects, while enrollment in the prenatal study received IRB approval and reached 132 subjects. So that's another positive thing. Of course, most of you guys are not really concerned about IRB approval or what that even means. So now Sapphire sites in Europe reported receiving accreditation for their OGM workflows beginning in Q2 2021. So, and another one is, and these accreditations unlock the potential for menu expansion and reimbursement. I believe this is why BNGO Sapphire device is hot cake right now in Europe. Okay, some of them have already received accreditation, for the OGM workflows. This is similar to laboratory developed test that you guys in America are presently using. Okay, so if you go down a little bit, in our own Bionano laboratories during the fourth quarter of 2021, we analyzed 341 samples, okay, which of course is very good. And you can compare that to 117 samples that were analyzed in the same quarter in 2020. So BNGO laboratory is also analyzing samples, like I already shared with you guys, and that CPT code is even going to increase that. Okay, so for 2021 they analyzed 331 samples, which of course is not really big deal. And then but if you compare it to 2020, it is way more than what they did in 2020. So this part of the business is also growing about 100% every year. And so for 2022, for example, you guys should be expecting at least 700 samples to be analyzed by Bionano laboratories. So the Bionano number of samples analyzed in 2021 was 1,067 samples, and that compares to 694 for the year 2020. So that's also another key point. Then it continues. In product development, they released important assay in the third quarter of optical genome mapping, blah, blah, blah. We released version 6.1 of our NS clinical software in the fourth quarter. So that is, of course, another milestone. After they acquire, biodiscovery, then in the fourth quarter, they released the 6.1 of NS clinical software, which of course came with, hemato. It came with heterozygosity analysis. And of course, they were able to use some data from next generation sequencing also, which of course also boosted the revenue, the Q4 revenue. You guys can already see that in Q4, BNGO reported 6.3 million US dollars. Okay, if you want to compare that to what they reported in the third quarter, they reported about 3 point something million, about 4 million or so in the third quarter. So it increased. Okay, and if you go further, it says we completed the prototype of the next version of optical genome mapping mapper that we are working on. This new instrument is expected to enable optical genome mapping analysis at substantially higher throughput than the Sapphire system currently supports, and should improve many aspects of the optical genome mapping workflow. So that is it, guys. We saw the prototype of the next generation Sapphire device, and then it's going to help BNGO to it's going to help, because we have some customers that high these customers need high throughput, and then these people have a lot of customers. Okay, so they can't really make they can make use of the current Sapphire device, but it's not really effective for them because they have a lot of customers, so they need a faster system. So those are the kind of customers that I believe BNG is going to be targeting with the new Sapphire device. And these are the kind of customers that they are buying like tens of devices at once. Okay, not just one, not just two. These are the customers that are going to be buying at least 10, 20, 30 Sapphire devices because of the the high volume of patients that they have high need. Okay, so if we go further, so I think that is it from the introduction from the CEO. Then we have some point, and so this one right here is one of the reasons why I believe the stock price sold off in Q4. Continued low yield led to the excess inventory and the write-off of about 1.2 million US dollars of inventory. We are actively working with our supplier to get yields back to where they have historically been. This is a transient issue, but it may take a few quarters for gross margin to recover to prior levels. Regarding expenses, this quarter we are updating the way we report our operating expense to include both GAAP and non-GAAP numbers. So like this one right here is from Christopher Stewart, I believe, this chief financial officer of Bionano Genomics. He spoke about this margin right here. You guys can see 1.2 million dollars of inventory was right off because of their supplier. So This, in my opinion, is affecting the stock price right now. But the bad thing about this statement is he said they expect it may take few quarters for gross margin to recover. I don't like this statement right here. I don't like this statement right here, guys. It may take few quarters. So we have to be watching what is gonna happen in the first quarter of this year. If BNG, sell more than 3,200, samples, okay, it's going to be a positive thing. If not, if they sell less than 3,200, just like they sold in the fourth quarter, I mean, that's going to be bad. So this one, something to watch out for, guys. Now, let's continue. So Eric Holmlin, when he continued, he said, we are also going to, be addressing market access through applications for a CPT code for optical genome mapping. That's of course what I already, spoke about at the beginning of this video. And in the second half, we are going to be adding additional laboratory developed tests to Bionano laboratories, which of course is also going to help them, to make more money. Then he said, we will also advance the product by releasing new labeling protocols and DNA isolation protocols that will have the effect of simplifying and accelerating, streamlining the OGM workflow. New protocol. This is going to be very good for BNGO customers, okay, because the workflow has to be even much more simpler than it is right now. So this is more or less what they are planning to do, simplifying and accelerating, streamlining the OGM workflow. Then he continues, he said, we will have what we are calling a pre-commercial version of this new high throughput imaging system for optical genome mapping. So that is of course the next generation Sapphire device, okay. That is going to be in the fourth quarter of this year, guys. This is going to be massive. So that is going to be running in the field. So we will be transitioning from the prototype to this pre-commercial system over the course of the year. So this is the plan, guys. BNG is going to be transitioning from the present Sapphire device to the next generation Sapphire device. So watch out, okay. Those are the things that you have to watch out for. So until then, nothing really huge may happen with BNG, okay. You just have to watch out for those things. So, and then he promised that they are planning to have an installed base of 240 Sapphire system, till the end of the year, all the way from 164 system that they finished 2021 with. And in closing, I want to reiterate that we are proud of 2021 and what we achieved. So those are the things that you guys should watch out for in 2022, guys. I mean, next generation Sapphire device is coming. They plan to install 240 Sapphire devices till the end of the year. And then they want to work on their the margin, okay, and hopefully before the end of the year this is going to be sorted, okay. This margin problem is going to be sorted, and they can finally we can see the number of the sales of the consumables increasing in number. So I think that is it, okay. The CPT code, the IRB approval, the next generation Sapphire devices, and this problem with their supplier, those are the things that you guys have to focus on in 2022. So I think that's where we're going to end this video. If this is your first time on this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps me to come here on a daily basis and share some news with you guys about Bionano Genomics. And please consider becoming a member of the channel. It helps me to come here every day, even when I am tired. Right now it is 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock, okay. This is Sunday morning, 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. I am right here making videos about BNGO. So see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful weekend. My name is Dayo. This is Frunkla. Ciao, ciao.